So we're here on the couch once again at Creative Social, and who's joined us?
My name's George Prest, and I'm the Executive Creative Director of RGA in London.
Thank you for joining us, George. First up, some questions about your career. What was your first creative role?
I started off as a copywriter at BBH actually, and I moved to, after 5 years, I moved to Lowe, became a creative director at Lowe. Then I moved to DLKW to become Executive Creative Director. DLKW merged with Lowe, so I was Executive Creative Director of DLKW Lowe. And then I kind of decided to make a bit of a shift in my working life and sort of realised that there were some really interesting things going on in digital in particular that allowed us to do a whole new different type of work for our clients. And I guess also realised that was where the future of the business was going. So took a bit of time out, and RGA was a company that I massively respected. I mean, they're absolutely the best at what they do. So went and did a bit of work experience for them, did a bit of freelance for them, and eventually became one of their 2 ECDs in London.
Great.
And that was 2.5 years ago now. So I've been working at RGA for 2.5 years.
Okay, nice, good time. And there's seems like quite a progression there, some stepping stones. What advice could you give to someone looking to develop their career in a similar way?
I wouldn't develop your career in the way that I did. I'd go and work for a company like RGA straight away, frankly. Digital will be at the heart of everything that we do for our clients for as long as I can tell. I mean, maybe something else will come along. I wouldn't waste time denigrates what other people are doing in the industry, but I'd go straight there. I'd go straight to a side of the industry that treats people as human beings and creates things that fit into their lives and make their lives a bit better. Don't hang around. Do it tomorrow.
And is there something there about matching your values with the place you're going to work, or is it really about the size and success of the agency?
No, it's nothing about the size of the agency. I mean, the success of the agency, I think, will be largely predicated on the type of work that it does these days. Absolutely match your values to the place that you want to go and work, but I kind of urge you to have the type of values that I have, because it's a fundamentally more interesting, more philosophically attractive business if you work at somewhere like RGA, and you'll be a lot happier there, I think.
And how do you stay fresh and current?
Just by listening to the people that I work with. I think I'm probably the oldest person in the agency. I'm not quite 40 yet, but I'm getting that way. Everyone there is younger, brighter, more switched on than I am. I learn new stuff every day just from the people that I work with, and we have a very flat structure as well. So there's no sort of hierarchy. So anyone is given the responsibility to do stuff, and anyone can contribute to any of the work that we're making. So I learn every day when I go to work.
Sounds like a nice place to work. And people looking to progress their careers, what advice would you give them?
Well, it kind of depends on what you do, frankly. Any creative person, I would urge them to take an interest in strategy, because when you get to a certain stage in the business, if you want to be having conversations with clients, if you want to be presenting work, if you want to become a creative director, and I would urge you to do that, then you've got to be as strategic as you are creative. And it's the subject of tonight's talk, but ideas are fundamentally important, but these days it's kind of ideas wrapped up in strategy, wrapped up in an understanding of people as human beings and how to meet their needs. So love the discipline that you do, but absolutely embrace everything that the industry kind of has to offer you and has to teach you.
Wise words, thank you. And at RGA, just finally, how do you keep and retain the best talent?
Retaining talent, without sounding too arrogant about it, we find relatively easy. Finding the best talent is a struggle, and we interview people the whole time. It's interesting actually. Our New York office is now 1,000 people, and they reckon they've seen or interviewed everybody in Manhattan, Brooklyn, Staten Island, New Jersey, Chicago, Philadelphia that they have to interview. And we actually find the same people coming around to us who we've met before. We're pretty selective. We're pretty picky about who we choose. We're looking for brilliant young people who can take responsibility for stuff and sort of fit into our culture as well, because we have a pretty specific culture. But we work pretty hard at finding talent. We have, you won't want to hear this, but we have a fully staffed up recruiting department who are pretty good at what they do. But we do look outside the sort of traditional channels and look for people who wouldn't necessarily think of themselves as working in an advertising agency, but might like to work in a place like the one that we have.
Well, I really appreciate those insights that you've given us tonight, George. Where can people find you? Are you on Twitter or do you have a blog or anything like that?
I'm at George Prest, imaginatively handled. I have a blog. I have a Tumblr, which is called A Version of Events. But if you find me on Twitter, then you can find your way to my blog pretty easily as well.
Great. I look forward to checking it out. Thanks a lot, George.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like it and share it with others. Source interview people from London's creative industry so you can learn from their experiences. To see more of our videos, subscribe to the channel now. And if there's someone you'd like to see interviewed, even yourself, then tweet us, put it in the comments or get in touch via email. Thanks again.